Ready for some music, watching some exciting football. Look at the playoffs, Kirky. Tua has 6 touchdowns in the 2 games and a total of 6 incompletions. But the 2 have been completed with the other guys tonight.
Yeah. And those 2 interceptions, the result of 14 of Clemson's 28 points.
2 rushing touchdowns for Etienne and 1 receiving. So the hat trick for the talented young tailback. And Tua's got something else to shake off. Back to work after this break.
We're doing karaoke later, and you're gonna sing.
Jamie, this is your house?
I know, it's not much, but it's home. Right, kids?
Kids.
You didn't tell me your friends were coming?
Oh, yeah.
This one is tiny like a child.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, but seriously, it's good to be surrounded by what matters most. A home and auto bundle from Progressive.
Oh, sweetie, please, play for us.
Oh, no, I couldn't. Okay.
Taco Bell invites you to a world where you'll find all your Taco Bell favorites in one amazing $5 box. The $5 Chalupa Cravings box from Taco Bell's new Cravings Value menu. Value beyond belief.
If you've ever needed more capacity, more features, and more for your hard-earned dollar, the time has never been more right. Get guaranteed lowest prices, up to 30% off top brands like the Samsung Kitchen Suite. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing.
We keep on marching, and we won't back down. Deep in the traffic, and it's ripped away.
Diving catch of it at the 5.
Taco Bell brought the best of the regular season to the CFP by creating the Taco Bell Live Moss student section, picking up the tab for 500 students from each school. And the Clemson faithful enjoying their long journey. It's the team's first game in California in 52 years. They played the Trojans at the Coliseum. They played Pacific back in 51, just the 3rd ever California visit. Damian Harris and the Tide find themselves down a dozen. As Trevor Lawrence has outplayed Tua so far, avoided the big mistakes. And there's a throw and a catch on the far side there. Brought down immediately is Judy.
Important for Tua to get back into his rhythm. He was fooled. Clemson showed cover 2. He thought he had a space about where that 30 is. Instead, look at the corner dropping. The corner drops when he thought the corner would stay up tight, sitting in that flat area. Second time, Brent Venables shows one look, goes to another after the snap, mixing up those coverages and fooled Tua for the second time.
Harris, Najee Harris makes a cut, and it's a first down. Not just picks by Terrell and Mullen, but a lot of action after the pick. Returns of 44 for a touchdown and 46 to set up the touchdown drive.
Yeah, great point. As we said, 14 points on both those interceptions. You look at his score right now, 28-16. That has a lot to do with Clemson's lead. But this is what makes Tua Tua. You would expect him to stay poised and continue to play at the level he's played all year.
Najee Harris tries to bounce it, but he cannot escape the rangy safety, Isaiah Simmons.
Trey Lamar makes the play right here, and it forces Harris to have to bounce. They continue to blitz these linebackers. He gets penetration, and because of that penetration, it forces Najee Harris out wide, and there's Isaiah Simmons, an outside linebacker / nickel, who's a great player at 6'2", 230 pounds.
Yeah, I call him a safety. He's actually a backer, but he can play anywhere. Top tackler on this defense. Now it's 2nd and 14. A run to Najee Harris. And he's hammered down to the 45. It sets up a 3rd and 6.
I always wonder what goes into Mike Loxley and the offensive staff. You know, you got 3 great backs in Najee Harris and Josh Jacobs, Damian Harris, and they continue to kind of rotate him, try to go with the hot hand. Mike Loxley is he's the beneficiary this year of great offensive skill, but a great offensive mind. As you said, Chris, headed to Maryland. It's a big 3rd down for him.
Tied 2 for 5 so far on 3rd. Need 6. Clemson crowding the line, but they back out. Now late pressure, and Tagovailoa is hammered. Trayvon Mullen, who just had the pick, gets home on a blitz. And Tua slow to get up.
Chris, they disguise this. Mullen showing coverage. You'll see him start to sneak in and then end up coming in late after the motion. Watch 1 late. Tua never gets his eyes out. Mullen ends up coming. Nobody picks him up. The back didn't recognize it to pick it up. Tua didn't see it. Well timed by Mullen. Venables knew he'd have to disguise those looks. That ball looks like it came out.
Yeah, Pierschbaker very astutely jumped on it to avoid a 3rd turnover by Tua. But the Tigers get the ball back by 12.
You make me feel like that.
The new Capital One Saver Card. Earn 4% cash back on dining and 4% on entertainment. Now when you go out, you cash in. What's in your wallet?
Let's go! I'm a little bit country.
And I'm a little bit rock and roll.
I'm a little bit of Memphis and Nashville.
With a little bit of Motown in my soul. I don't know if it's good or bad.
But I know I love it so.
I'm a little bit country.
And a little bit rock and roll. I like that peaceful, easy feeling of a laid-back country song.
When I sing my rock and roll, I can sing it all night long.
I love my country with all my heart and soul.
Go out on Saturday night for a little bit of rock and roll.
I know I'm going to feel all right.
No matter where I go.
With a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll.
The all-new Chevy Silverado. It's a little bit country, and it's a little bit rock and roll.
Everybody all set?
Hey.
Oh, any recommendations?
The salmon roll's okay.
Just okay. Is it fresh?
Sort of. The chef had it this morning. Unfortunately, he went home sick, but he left instructions with Kyle.
This fish is raw.
Do we need a minute?
Yes.
Just okay is not okay, especially when it comes to your network. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's biggest test. Now with 5GE. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Fact is, Americans move more than anyone else in the world.
Come on, guys, in here.
On average, we'll live in 11 homes.
Hey, let me help.
And every time we move, things change.
Guys, help your mom out.
Apartments become houses. Cars become minivans.
Mom, it's only an hour away.
As we upgrade and downsize. An Allstate agent will do the same for our protection. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
Bama's first punt of the night coming up. And halftime, after the Imagine Dragons perform, stay tuned for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report.
Tua right now out of sorts a bit. Not seeing that blitz, and that ball ended up being a fumble, as they called on the field. I thought his knee was down in live action, but you could tell in the replay that Ball came out. You know, if he sees this blitz and recognizes this, Chris, he's able to dump it out to Najee Harris, who's slipping out of the backfield. In fact, Najee Harris wants the ball to come his way. If Tua would have kept his eyes on that blitz, he's looking right. Najee Harris to the top left. He's jumping up and down, wanting the ball. So their answer to that blitz is immediately throw the ball right there. Right now, if you recognize it, he never saw it. And this is a quarterback that hasn't made mistakes like this. So it's partly Tua, but also it's Brent Venables in this Clemson defense that's creating these opportunities. They're fooling him right now.
So it's Lawrence and the Tigers back to work. Etienne, 3 touchdowns already to his left. 2:04 before halftime. Bama will get the football to begin the second half. Lawrence from the pocket. Long throw. You see the arm strength. That's Trevion Thompson out near the 40.
2 things. Number 1, recognizes it's cover 2, goes right over top of Smith, the corner who's sitting up close, up in the flat. He goes right over top of him, showing that arm strength, and in front of the safety, and puts it there to the senior Thompson.
He's played more games at wide receiver than any Tiger ever. Good protection in the pocket. Another long throw, but that's too long. It's into the Alabama bench.
I want you to keep in mind in this first half, this kid, Trevor Lawrence, is a true freshman. Look at the composure. Yeah, he's 6'6", 215, ridiculous physical skills. This is what he did at Cartersville High School. Had an incredible career. He started 4 years. And I think that experience, imagine starting as a 14-year-old in a high school, the pressure of Georgia high school football, I think those experiences at Cartersville allowed him to step in as a true freshman. And the game is not too big for him.
Turned 19-year-old in October.
He's 8 of his last 10 now.
Looks like he's born to do this. And they added the lead before halftime. Well, time was running now. There was a rare moment of confusion, and Lawrence calls a timeout. Lawrence family nurturing him, Amanda and Jeremy, not applying heavy pressure. They were tough on him, and they were tough on him in school, tough on him as an athlete, but he was grateful for that. He told me that helped forge him as a person and a player. And he has arrived at Clemson ahead of even where Deshaun Watson was when he arrived.
You know, I just look at that position around college football anymore, and I think the development with the quarterback coaches, the pressure that these guys are under with the Elite 11 programs, they travel all over the country, they're in camps. He had a great high school coach at Joey King at Cartersville High School. They've got a great relationship, and Joey King worked hard with him on understanding formations and coverages, and they would tell you that had as much to do with his development and showing up at Clemson ready to play as much as anything.
Graduate student Adam Choice is the back on this 2nd and 10. And Lawrence stands and fires, and this Tide defense doesn't know what to do. There's a hit out of bounds by McKinney on Justin Ross. This should add 15 yards to the play.
There's that frustration. We saw a little bit of that when we went to a break. McKinney and one of his teammates, Shaheem Carter, kind of going over maybe a previous possession on the sideline, kind of just
dead ball,
competitively.
Personal foul, and hit out of bounds. Defense number 15. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You see Saban and Tosh LaPointe's defense, they're rattled right now.
I think we talked about some of the emotion carrying over now on the field. He's frustrated that Ross, another freshman, beat him and clearly hits him late, and they throw another 15 on in the back end of that play.
You mentioned how McKinney was so animated, so angry in the previous timeout of this game, and he's got to calm himself down. Choice is the back. Ball moved to the 33. Tide jumped offside. Lawrence has got a free play. Fires for Renfro. It's incomplete. He couldn't fight back to it. Lawrence knew that Bama had jumped offside.
Yeah, Bama trying to disguise their blitz and ended up jumping. Good job by
Outside.
Trevor Lawrence to wait.
Defense, number 33. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
You're right. He had that free play. He knew he had the free play. Waited as long as he could and tried to time it up to Hunter Renfro.
It's the second time in 2 plays. The place pointed to his head. Think out there, guys.
Right.
Clemson trying to add to a 12-point lead before halftime.
Remember, Alabama deferred. They get the ball to start the second half.
Lawrence, strike across the middle, and that's Justin Ross, #1 player out of Alabama last year.
Yeah, a great high school player from the state of Alabama. Everybody thought he would stay and play for Alabama. Instead, goes to Clemson, fell in love with the culture, has had an amazing true freshman year. You got a true freshman throwing to a true freshman, making big plays in a national championship.
Tigers back in the red zone again. Choice wrestled down by Quinnen Williams. That big bear of a defensive tackle making a play.
Boy, he went right through a double team by Clemson. Watch him with his athletic ability right here. You got 2 Clemson offensive linemen, and you better be careful leaving him. Bostonelli said, okay, I'm going to leave it there to Cervenka to be able to take that. You better stay on the big fella.
Cervenka, the strongest player on the Clemson team, wasn't enough that time. Talking about a dude who squats 665, benches 515, and Quinnen Williams just overpowered him on that play.
When Quinnen Williams leaves the field, Clemson has to get excited at 92's on the sideline trying to catch his breath.
The absence of Christian Miller, the linebacker of the leader, has loomed large so far, I'd say, in the first half.
What they've done is Dylan Moses, who's right here, has basically been playing defensive end in certain situations like third downs just to give him another pass rusher on the opposite side of Jennings.
Need 12 on this third down. Play clock at 3. Lawrence has a man in the flat, but the pressure was too much, and it's incomplete. Jennings got there in a hurry, couldn't get the ball to Choice.
That was a very similar blitz that Tua missed, and he didn't even see it, and that's where they ended up sacking him in that last sequence of plays. This time, Trevor Lawrence looks right. He feels it, sees it. He tries this time at least to get the ball dumped off to the back. Choice, and by the way, if he throws that accurately, Choice picks up the first down and maybe gets to the end zone.
The Tigers stall in the red zone for the first time, so a 36-yard field goal attempt from Greg Hugel, the senior, kicking in his 3rd national championship game, 10 of 15 this season. And career field goal number 54. And the Tigers move it 61 yards quickly and add to the lead. A 15-point margin, 45 seconds before halftime. Goodyear providing aerial coverage to celebrate the 64-year legacy in the sport. The College Football Hall of Fame down in Atlanta will induct the blimp as an honorary member of the 2019 class. Goodyear more driven. It's a first non-coach player.
Non-player. It's a huge honor. That was a big stop by Alabama. You know, they 45 seconds